staying in your Supta Baddha, just bringing the hands either to rest onto the abdomen, okay, or they can lie side of you. Okay, there's no need to be pressing in feet together, just let the hips evolve and open naturally for yourself. If you want, you can sort of like just give the knees a little swing from side to side. Smooth out into that sacral lower back area, smooth out through the spine, relax into your shoulder blades, back of the neck. And then just take some nice deep breaths in and out through your mouth. Just being aware how much expansion you can get into those lungs. So just following the breath from the tip of the nose down the back of the throat. As you inhale, you should just almost feel like a super internal stretch. And as you exhale, that lovely release down into your hip creases. So again, setting your intention from your practice today, perhaps just to stay on the mat, try not to let your mind wander. Maybe listening to your body, being gentle if you need to. Not every day is the same. Sometimes you feel super strong, other days you just need to take a little step back and really listen carefully. Lovely. So from here, we're just going to open the eyes. We're going to keep that Supta Baddha just for another couple of moments. Okay, we're going to reach the arms above the chest wall, sort of above the shoulders. Okay. At this point, point the fingertips up to the ceiling and relax the backs of the shoulders into the mat. So just doing some shoulder sort of protractions here, okay. So we have a real lot of energy going up through the arms to the fingertips. And as you inhale, press and lift the arms up as high as you can to the ceiling. And as you exhale, release them down. Inhale, push them up as high as you can. Exhale and release them down. Another couple of times, really lifting, protecting those shoulders forward. And releasing them down. Reaching up. And then relaxing it down. Last time, lift and reach. Lovely, and then relax them down. And then from here, just take the right upper arm over the chest. We'll catch with the elbow crease of your left arm. Okay, both palms of the hands are facing down towards your face. As you gently snuggle that right upper arm into your chest wall, you're gently drawing and pressing the shoulder back down into the mat. And then you're going to swap it out the other way. So the left upper arm comes over, you catch on the elbow crease of your right, you snuggle it in and you draw back. Lovely. And then releasing the two arms. Okay, just gently draw the two knees together. Good. Smooth the lower back into the mat, lift the knees gently into our chest walls. And then use a little swing from side to side. And a little circle around into that lower back sacral side hip. One way and then the other way. Lovely. And then we'll just pop the 2 feet onto the floor. Okay, just let the arms rest down by your side. Turn the palms of the hands to the ceiling. Smooth lower back into the mat and inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Pressing right up to your heel, draw the toes down towards your nose. And just feel really the nice gentle pull through the front action in the leg and the lift and lengthen into the back half of the leg. Lovely. And then just swing it up and down just a few times. Just putting a little bit of heat into the glute, into the hip. Try not to bang your heel off the mat. And if you're pushing your left foot into the mat to help you kind of swing, relax into that left side. Lovely. And then we'll bring it fully all the way up, just clasping around the back of the thigh gently, or behind the calf. Big inhale, and as you exhale, release into that. Big inhale, lengthen it up and over, exhale, releasing into that. Okay. don't be going too mad here, don't be calling and pulling and really pulling that butt cheek off the mat. Take your time. Then coming into our supine pigeon pose, the right ankle bone sits gently over the top of that left thigh to the slope the left foot lifts off the mat. We're going to keep the left knee directly above its hip and the heel of the left foot in front of the knee. So again, it's entirely up to you how you hold on. Sometimes people like to press forward with their hand and draw in with their other hand, okay? So that you're kind of paralleling off that shin and then gently drawing it in. Or you might just want to hold behind that thigh, left thigh, and use your elbow and forearm to press your right leg forward as you draw that left knee in. It doesn't really matter, but you really want to feel it isolated into that right hip. Good. And then really relax into your tail. Okay. So as much as all this like strong work's going on in this hip, just find that real time out. Exhale, relax, let go, let that stretch evolve. So it's all just in the breath here, just gentle drawing in, gentle pressing forward. Lovely. So now we're going to slide this right leg all the way over the left. So we've got these kind of splat out legs, lower legs. I'm going to slide the hands down, try and catch hold of the side edges of our feet. If that doesn't work, you can just hold on to the side of the shin. Okay. So once we've got that there, we want to splay the feet out a little bit wider as we're just sort of drawing them up past our head. And then we'll draw in the insteps back towards, say, our armpits or our shoulders. But we want to splar out those legs good and wide. Now, as you're drawing back and drawing down, you want to counteract that stretch by really releasing down into that lower back tailbone area. Lovely. And then releasing it out. 2 feet back on the floor, left leg comes up. Just feel that lovely lift and lengthen. Okay, so sometimes it's nice to get a lovely hamstring stretch without being standing on your foot, because it takes the load off a little bit. So just reach up to the heel, feel the lift and lengthen through the back of the leg, that lovely engagement in the front part of the leg. And then we'll take that for a little swing. Okay, so again, fluid, really nice and soft. Wailing it, not wailing it up and down, swinging it up and down. Again, we're not bouncing in this. Lovely. And then we'll bring it all the way up. And we'll catch hold either the back of the calf or the back of the thigh. Release into that lower back. Breathe. Just visualize those lovely muscle sinews just releasing, letting go. And then we'll come into our supine pigeon, so that left ankle bone gently sits over the slope as we lift our right foot off the mat. Keep that alignment between right knee, right hip. And again, you can press forward and draw in, or you can simply hold onto the back of the thigh. So whatever makes you feel this more without kind of rolling and curling up. You want to find that counteractive part of the stretch where you're pressing down and away at the same time. So as you're drawing in with that right thigh, you're sending the left knee hip forward and you're releasing into your tail. Super big, long stretch. Just visualize that breath right into that hip. Lovely. And then we'll do the full crossover. We'll splar out the legs as much as we can, slide the hands down, and again it might just come to the side here. Okay. If you have to lift your head up neck to find it, then release back down. Splar out the feet a little bit wider, draw the insteps towards the armpits, back of the mat. Settle out into your tailbones. Just really release into those lower backs. Lovely, and then releasing it all the way down, just tuck the knees in. And then we'll finally come just into our easy cross leg. So once once we're there, we'll smooth out the butt cheeks, soften into the side edges of our feet, hip creases, knees, tip the fingers to the floor. Nice long lift and length into the spine, and as we exhale, we're going to gently walk it away, forward folding, okay, smoothing out, softening again, breathing tall through the spine and broad into the rib cage, and exhaling, taking it out another little bit. So using the fingers quite actively to allow ourselves to draw forward, but just be mindful we're not kind of pulling the butt cheeks off the mat to draw back into those sit bones. So again, think about putting a nice tall, long spine. And then we'll slide those hands in. We'll just flick the feet out to the side edge of the mat, come into our tabletop. Okay, middle of our mat. Okay, now instead of being on the hands, we're going to come onto our elbows. We're going to have our forearms directly in line, our elbow joints, our elbows in underneath our shoulders. Feet directly behind our knees. Okay, so cat-cow on our elbows. Nice big inhale. Dip the spine, lift the tailbone right into the back of the head to the tailbone. And I'm going to exhale a real curl in, so you want to really draw that chin right into that chest. We'll swing the head through as much as you can, rounding. And then inhaling to release, coming into the dip. And exhaling, really rounding, curling. So finding the length of the spine, that lovely little curl. And on that dip, there's a kind of good stretch going into the glutes, into those butt cheeks, into the abdomen. Last time, roll and curl. Really go to chin in. And then from here, just gently rest it back into your hair pose. So just checking out the alignment of those legs and feet. Drawing the sit bones back. Okay. Now instead of having the hands out shoulder width here, I want you to slide back a little. Bring palms of the hands together. Slide the arms away. Press down with a little finger side. Okay. Draw the sit bones back. Now if the hands can't come together here, maybe depending on how those shoulders are working, it's okay for them to be a little bit wider, but be on the side edge of those little finger sides. Okay, and try and let the head release down through those arms, as well as ensure we're not going to let the heels swing out. And breathe right into that kind of underside of your shoulder blade. That underside of your shoulder blade. Lovely. And then just walk the feet, hands out again, shoulder width. Press up into your extended tabletop. Exhaling, chest wall comes down, legs and feet slide away. Inhaling, cobra pose. Good. So just being mindful with your cobra pose that you're not really pushing up and away from the ground, that you feel that those top of those thighs, front thighs, gently resting into the mat. Shoulders are drawn back. And then exhaling down, we'll press up through our table. Curl out those toes and come into our first downward facing dog. And again, we'll just give those feet a nice little walk out on the mat. Good. Brilliant. And then once we ground the feet towards the heels, towards the mat, just swing the hips from side to side. Lovely. It's nice kind of press the hips out to the side. And then just releasing back into our downward facing dog. Just 1 or 2 breaths here, relaxing all the musculature in that face, so carry no tension in the face. And then we'll inhale back into our tabletop here. Okay, rest onto the forearms and just give the wrists a little rotation. Good. One way and then the other. Lovely. So we're going to come back into that tabletop. Okay, so again we're going to stack. So from here, take your right hand almost to your left side waist rib cage area. Okay, you want to keep the hips above the knees, and we're going to lift and lengthen through that left arm into the left side waist. Reach across our abdomen, reach across our chest wall, And extend that right arm up to the sky. Good. Now, if you're coming up here, and again, something like me, shoulders can be a little bit tight, you can keep the hand and just kind of guide yourself around, okay? Good. We really want to feel that working waist into our thoracic, but we still want to relax those shoulders as much as we can. Good. And we're not pushing the hips out to that right side of the mat either. Good. And then we'll place that right hand down. Again, lengthen through that right arm, catch hold of your right ribs, as if you're just kind of guiding them out to the left side of the mat, lengthening over the abdomen into those left ribs, and up comes that left arm. And breathe quite deeply here, check the position of your pelvis over your knees. Good, one more breath in. It's quite a strong stretch. And then we'll bring ourselves back to centre. We'll draw ourselves back into our head pose. Lovely. From our head pose back into our extended tabletop, curl toes under. Float butt cheeks back towards heels. Float knees off the mat. Reach back into downward facing dog as the hips come up to the sky. Lovely. One more breath here. And then we'll gently step, jump or walk to the front of the mat. Legs and feet together, soft bend to the knees, forward fold. And let the arms be nice and soft and relaxed here. Draw length into the back legs by just lifting and tilting the sit bones up to the ceiling with your inhale. And on your exhale, releasing through the spine into the crown of the head, grounding into all four corners of your feet. Just really listen to your body here. If one of those legs is saying no, maintain the bend to the knees. Lovely. And then with that soft bend, to gently roll it all the way up. Big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bend through those knees as if we're coming through our chair pose. Tip the tips of the fingers to the floor. Come into our full forward fold. Inhaling, we'll come into our half. And as we exhale, step, jump or walk back into your plank pose. Again, be gentle with yourself. Exhale either Chaturanga Dandasana, or we can pop the knees on the mat, coming simply into our cobra, or those that like upward facing dog, upward facing dog. Exhaling down, tabletop into downward facing dog. If you've come from cobra pose, if not, high through shoulders. Lovely, grounding fully into your left leg, and to inhale, lift and float right leg up to the sky. Roll that ankle around a wee bit. Good, and then tuck that right knee into chest wall. Eye gaze goes forward. We're rocking the shoulders forward, just past the fingertips, rolling onto the tippy toe of our left foot. Suck nose into knee. You might need to cut the fingertips of your right hand to step that right foot in. Swivel that left heel down. Inhaling up, warrior one. Extra breaths here. Taking awareness to your pelvis, relaxing the shoulders. On your next exhale, just sweeping down. All of your left foot, so we're counting it back into our downward facing dog first. And then as we inhale, we're coming forward into our plank pose. Exhaling to come down to your floor for cobra. Row those lovely toes, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Give yourself a wee moment here to check positioning of all four limbs. And then inhaling, left leg up. Give that ankle a little rotation. One way and then the other. And then we'll tuck that left knee into chest wall. We'll take our eye gaze forward. We'll rock forward, shoulders forward, tippy toe off that right foot, nose into knee. And then we'll gently step that left foot in, swiveling right heel down. Inhaling up, warrior one on the other side. Good. So on your exhale, we'll bring the hands down, ball of your right foot, plant the hands evenly, downward facing dog first. On your inhale, rock it forward into your plank pose. Exhale into cobra or upward facing dog as you inhale. And then all the way back into our downward facing dog. Taking the eye gaze forward. Going to step jump or just simply walk the feet to the outside of the hands. Good. Parallel off the side edges of the feet with the side of the mat. Again, a little soft bend to the knees, just gently hang it down. Give the hips a little rock from side to side. Good. And then when we come to centre, just gently roll all the way up. Inhaling, reaching arms above the head. Exhaling, hands to heart centre, turn the toes out, 45 degree. Okay. And we're just going to come and sit into our squat. Good. So again, adjust your feet. So feel that the knees are passing over the toes rather than rolling sort of down into the mat. Drop the butt cheeks down into the floor. Great. One more breath here. And then we'll just tip the fingers out to the floor gently. Roll it all the way up, parallel off those feet. All the way up to stand. Reaching arms. And exhaling, hands to heart. Lovely. So from here, step the legs and feet together. Float it up. Exhaling again through that chair pose. Full forward fold. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, back we go. Plank pose. Exhale into the floor or floating for your upward facing dog. Exhaling for downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg up to the sky. Stepping right foot in, left heel comes down. Warrior one. So just putting a little bit more heat into our bodies here. Exhaling, we're coming back to downward facing dog first, then forward into our plank pose. Exhaling, up we go. Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Left side floats up, left foot comes in, leg heel comes down. Up we come. Good. Exhaling down, ball of that foot, back we go. Downward facing dog into plank pose. Inhaling. And all the way back. Downward facing dog. Good. Then we'll come into our tabletop here. Soften the top edges of the feet into the mat. Find a little dip through our spine. Okay. And gently slide it out for our puppy dog pose. So as you slide or walk the arms away, dip into that back, lift and open those front rib cages, and press the armpits down towards the floor. Now what you can do here is if you've got anything going on in a particular shoulder, you can release one arm back, okay, so you don't have to be pushing down and then impingement on one's shoulders, creating you a difficulty in stretching out the other one. So you can just do one arm at a time. Feel that working into your pectoral muscle, into those ribs, into those shoulders. And if you're very super flexible, as I know some of you are, you can bring the hips slightly further forward, and that'll make it a little bit more nice and superly stretchy for you. So again, just do one arm at a time if that works better for you, so you can really focus your awareness. Lovely. So from here, sliding it all the way back up, coming into our downward facing dog. Good. Stepping the feet out as wide as the mat. So we'll get a little spinal twist here. Okay. So once we step the feet out as wide as the mat, hands stay shoulder width. Okay. We want to walk the feet slightly closer towards the top of the mat so we can lift and really ground back into those heels. Lift those sit bones up, lengthen back with the two arms grounding, right hand to the mat, as if you're pressing back towards the back of the mat. And then you take left hand to right calf, take a lovely little twist and turn. So all the time being aware what is going on with this here. We should have a super equilateral, well it's not equilateral because the legs aren't as wide, but this even-sided triangle shape with the two legs. relax those heads. Good, lift those sit bones up, round into the 2 feet. And then we'll swap it out. So once we've glued that left hand, you can give the right hand a little shake. Remember, we want to draw back first as much as we can. So really challenging the stability of that left shoulder. Catching hold on to that right leg then. Good. So we bend the elbow deeply, we draw around. We want to get as much twist in this as we can. Lovely, and then we'll bring that right hand back to our centre point, okay? And again, we're going to step, jump, or walk the feet to the outside of our hands. Roll all the way up the spine. Good, so we're going to tuck the tail under, press the hips forward, place either the fist of your left hand onto your lower back region as a little support. You can hold onto your waist, or you can simply slide the arm down the leg. So as we tuck the tail under, we're pressing the hips past the toes, float your right arm up to the sky. Then try and relax into that shoulder blade. Okay, so there shouldn't be tension and real hold. You should be quite relaxed into this arm. Lift up out the waist, broaden into side body, rib cage, and as you exhale, just stretch it back. Okay, so you do find breath quite catchy here. Good, just challenge yourself. Don't let the head fall back too much. Get the front of that neck working for you. Good. And then inhale to centre. Try not to sort of counteract that. Take it to the other side, whether it's waist, whether it's hip, or whether it's just hand down that leg. Left arm comes up. Relax the shoulder. Tuck the tail under. Press those hips forward. So think about where you're sending the breath. Not just into the tummy or the rib cage, but flow it right up, right out. Side, front and back. And make sure your inhale is the lift, lengthen, and the exhale is the release. Brilliant. One more breath. And then inhale into centre. So just from here, as you bring the head, neck in line with spine, bend the knees. Drop the chin into the chest. Give yourself a wee moment. Stretching out the back of the neck. Lovely. And then we'll just step the 2 feet together. Big inhale. How are we doing? Keep on forgetting you're there. Just talking to myself. Exhaling, fold it out. Just be very careful on this fold. Lovely. Take a little rock forward and back, making sure you're displacing the weight nicely and evenly. Okay. So if the hands are coming easily to the floor, try and ground more of the hand into the floor. If you've got still nice soft bent elbows, take them behind. Okay. If they're just sort of free floating, tops of the shins or maybe the back around the calf muscles, make it really active top and bottom. Lovely, and then we'll come into our half, long tall spines. Exhaling, okay, we're going to step, jump and walk back into that plank pose again. Good. Exhaling just for our cobra or our upward facing dog as we inhale. Good. Exhaling into our downward facing dog. Lovely, so from here I want you to come onto your knees. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you, you can take it into your classic Ardha Honeymoon, your half splits, okay? So your classic half splits will be like this here, with your left leg in front of you, okay? Just so I can work around the same time with the mat as you. Okay, so you're either going to come into your classic half splits, or you're going to curl the toe under in your right foot, okay? Now just be aware if you have any knee joint issues, okay? Alright? So if you've got a wee towel, maybe you want to put it under there. So we're rolling and curling toes under, and we're sitting onto that right heel. Okay? Then we're extending that left leg forward. Okay? So we draw the sit bone back onto the right heel, and now we know it's toes. Okay? And then we'll take our little forward fold. So you may just be here, heel in the mat, drawing on that sit bone, and experiencing this stretch into the foot. Okay? Or you could be loving it that much that you're walking it down. Okay, now just try not to kind of really zone into where you're feeling the discomfort. Just zone into your breath. So whether in your classic half or whether you're doing an honeymoon like this, breathe into those toes. We'll not be here for much longer. Lovely. When we slide the hands back, just push it up, release the toes onto the mat, lift up, little box shape, okay? We're going to lift up out of the waist and we're going to turn it over that left thigh. Catch hold of the right hand side edge, kind of one against the other. Draw the rib cage round as much as you can. Eye gaze along that left arm to the back of the mat. So again, I want you to try and get as much rib turn as you can, wringing out that spine. Lovely, and we'll swing the two hands to the centre. Again, block if you need it. Curl the toe onto the left foot. Lift the right knee off the mat. Step that right foot in. Okay, so from here coming into our pyramid pose. Okay. Inhaling, lifting and lengthening as we need to. Good. So again, blocks is quite handy. Okay, so from our pyramid pose here, as we're drawing our right hip forward and we're extending maybe forwards down the mat or backwards down to our foot, or just simply having our hands onto a block. Okay, lovely. Want us to activate our lovely feet here now, rolling up onto the tippy toe of your right foot and heel of your left. As you do that, square off that pelvis, lift and lengthen, and as you exhale and release, fold it down. Lift up, tippy toe, heel. As the heel comes down and release. Coming up onto the tippy fingers now, square off that right hip, sweep the arms over to the left side, left little toe side, so again if you need a block, you're going to hold a block and gently walk it down with you, okay? Or else you're going to just use the tippy fingers, draw back, see from in this waist into this rib cage, you want to open that space. Squeeze those inside thighs together. Lovely. A little bit more. Now when we come back to centre, okay, bend that left knee, just so it sits over the ankle. Place your left hand to the inside of that left foot, about 2 inches or maybe 1.5 inches away. Lengthen through that left arm into the shoulder, across that shoulder and reach up. So again, squeeze this side through and relax the shoulders. Active back leg. Lovely. And then from here, as we swing that arm down. Now, try and turn the torso back to the front of the mat. Readjust those pelvises. Right hand's going to stay on the mat. Okay. Again, you can use a block here if you want. Now, we're going to try and keep that left knee bent. Okay. And same thing on this side. Okay. So, it's very similar. It's kind of like a warm-up for your reverse triangle pose. And the reason we've got the hand inside and the foot there is to be able to give us a little bit more sort of space for our torso just to twist and turn to the left so that we get those left ribs lifted up to the ceiling. So even if you place your hand onto that rib cage and kind of give it a gentle lift and turn, eye gaze to the sky, up that hand goes. Lovely. So action through that midline. And then we're going to release the hands in. Okay. Inhale, bring ourselves up. Straighten that left leg, turn torso to the side edge of your mat. If you need to heel toe, heel toe. If not, heel, heel alignment. Sweeping those arms out. So nice big inhale here. Coming into a Trikonasana, triangle pose. Relax shoulders. Draw that left butt cheek back a little as you swing. Lovely lateral stretch. A little bit more. Then float it down. Lovely. So resting the hand on the inside edge of that leg, or you can just gently rest the hand onto the shin. Just be aware of what's going into the top shoulder. Often we push and pull. Relax the shoulder into its space. Eye gaze up to that thumb. Good. Release into that shoulder. Lovely. One more breath. So you can replace that hand onto the foot just to kind of give us a little bit of support. Turn the palm of the hand over the front of the mat. Extend and reach those fingertips. So as you're reaching out to those fingertips, I want you to feel that lovely length down into that hip. So we're still rolling out that right hip. Brilliant. Again, get those turns, lovely relaxed shoulders. And then we'll sweep it all the way up. Paralleling off those feet. Okay. Just take a couple of hip rolls. Round we go. Yeah. As much as you can, forwards, round, back. And then reverse. Yeah. And then once we come to centre, okay, pushing the hips firmly out to that left leg. Good. Feel that nice little dent in here. Releasing right arm out. Releasing left arm out. Extend and reach. Placing the hand onto that right thigh, left arm up and over. So we're pushing the pelvis out to the left leg. Okay, reach and lift through that left side. A little bit more. Release the head, the neck. Good. Bring yourself back up to centre. Pelvis comes to centre, we're pushing it out to the right. We're extending and lengthening. Hand comes down. Right arm comes up. So pushing out to that right hip. No, it feels a little bit weird. Okay, because usually we keep our pelvis in the centre space. Good. You want that lovely intercostal stretch around there. Brilliant. And then up to centre. Little soft bend out to the knees, tip the fingers to the floor. We're walking around to that right side. Lovely. Where we'll simply drop our left knee on the mat, curl the toes under. So again, same thing on this side. You're either coming to your classic half splits, okay, or you're coming into this kind of weird and wonderful one where you're experiencing that lovely stretch in the toes, a little bit more stretch in the back of that right leg. So we're lifting, lengthening, draw back. So again, you can simply be like this. Okay, so if your toes are going, this is not good today, then don't do it. Okay. And then again, you can gently walk down that leg. So again, just try not to take focus onto what your body's screaming at you. Just focus solely breath. Big inhales. Exhale. Good old stretch out for those toes. Lovely, and an integral for us balancing, so you get lots of lovely blood flow into them. Lovely, and then we'll slide it up. So once we come up, we're going to come forward, we're going to really release those toes, slide that foot back, we'll come into classic kind of square body shape, square shape. Left arm's coming over, okay, we're turning from the waist, okay, keeping the leg in check with a hand, okay, and turning our eye gaze along that right arm. So even simple spinal twists like this here does help sciatic stuff as well, you see. So kind of get as much turn as you can, but release and relax the shoulders. Lovely, and then once we come back to centre, we'll curl the toe under back foot, back heel comes down to the mat. Again, if you need your block, you're placing it out in front of you. Okay, heel alignment will slightly wider, coming into our pyramid pose. So as we lift and lengthen, we want to smooth and fold in. If the hamstring's too tight, keep the bend in the knee, okay, and try and get sort of incrementally between the bend, straightening a little bit to the forward folding. Draw those inside thighs together, lift your right hip cheek up, left hip going forward. Lovely. And then from here again, we're going to come up onto the toe of the left foot, heel of the right, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, fold. And then inhale, and then exhale. Last time, inhale, lift that butt cheek up as much as you can, exhale. Lovely, and then hands are coming in, so using your block if you need to, right little toe side, and just gently walking it around. So just be mindful that we're not sort of pushing the hips and kind of trying to bring them with us, okay? that we're rolling them around with. We're keeping the pelvis nice and stable. So using your block if you need to. You can go up on a high side as well. Okay. Squaring off that pelvis. Lovely. So it will help with a kind of tight IT band as well here. And then we come back to centre. We're going to bend our right knee so it just sits over our ankle. Again, if you can't reach the floor with the palm of your right hand, it doesn't matter. A little bit of space between right hand and right foot. Draw your right ribs over your right thigh. Lengthen up into that left arm. Good. So get a nice little extra turn. Relax the shoulder in that left arm. Good. And then as we bring it back to centre, okay, we want to take the left hand, okay, and turn it around to the right. Okay, so again, you can put a block in even underneath that left hand. Okay, you do a little bit of height training, maintain a bend into your right knee. We're not coming into reverse triangle. We want to draw the left ribs through and reach up into that right arm. Good. Lovely. So you're asking your body to turn in two opposite directions, which is a challenge in itself. Lovely. And then release it down. Bring ourselves all the way up for our classic triangle pose. So either getting a little bit longer and wider. Okay, heel alignment. Trunk to the side edge of the mat. We'll lift to length and extend and reach. Soft shoulders, lovely floaty spaces here. Good. And then we can gently turn our eye gaze to that left hand. And then turn the palm of the hand over the ear and to the front of the room, or would be the back of the room now. Brilliant, well done. And then we'll bring it all the way back up as we parallel off those feet. The hips a little shake from side to side. We'll turn them feet out 45-degree angle where you can comfortably bend your knees so that they go over your feet. Okay? And just rest the hands onto your thighs. Okay? Fingertips down the inside of the thighs. Okay? So from here we're going to press, okay, our left shoulder forwards and down as much as we can, keeping those knees wide and open. Good. Good. Now forward and down just another little bit. Take it to the point where you feel it evolving right and under that lat from your rib cage. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So relax the left, draw and press. Good. Good. A little bit more. Well done. Lovely. And then we'll just pop the two fingertips on the floor, parallel off the feet. Walk it back, step back into your plank pose. Exhaling, either cobra or upward facing dog. As we inhale, exhaling, downward facing dog. Just a couple of breaths here. Okay. Softening the breath. Lifting sit bones, reaching out to heels. Lifting through the front legs, relaxing into the neck and face. Head. Okay. And again, just be aware of these shoulders. Okay. Often we push back so much that we pull our shoulders forward and we squeeze our ears. Okay. So you want to relax the shoulders back into their natural space, so that you can have comfortable shaky head if you need to, rather than it pushed into your ears. Lovely. Inhaling, float that left leg up. Exhaling, left foot in between the hands, right heel swivels down. Inhaling up, warrior one. Two hands together if you possibly can. Lower into that lovely hip. Lovely. And then we'll sweep the arms behind the back. Either elbow joints, interlace fingers, or reverse namaste. Press the elbows back, lift and breathe. Front rib cage, side rib cage, upper chest wall. Hinge it halfway down. Okay, lovely. Square off that pelvis, lengthen out that left leg, hinge it down another little bit. Virabhadrasana, just breathe. Good. Keep squaring off the pelvis by thinking, am I drawing my right hip back and kind of swinging out to the right side of the mat? If not, send that right hip forward. Lovely. Inhaling all the way up. Rebend that left knee. Reach the arms above the head again. Warrior one. Lovely. So we're going to straighten our left leg pretty much almost straight. Going to come into a reverse triangle somewhere slightly differently. Okay. So we're going to turn the torso already to that left leg. Okay. So turn it around as much as you can. Okay. Left hand's just resting on that left hip. Sweep your right arm over. Slide it down that left leg. Okay. Press against. Give yourself another little lift. Press against. Hopefully your blocks are there from the last time you used them. If not, reach and grab. Square off the pelvis. Turn it around a little bit more. Push that left hip bone back. Good. And so you can get the side of this left shoulder right up to the sky. And reach that left arm up. So utilise your blocks if you need to here, because they're really good to help with the rotation. Alright? It doesn't matter if you think, oh my God, so you're not getting right down to the floor. Okay? It's all the work that's going from that pelvis. Now stabilise through your big toes. The little pinky side. Whole foot. Good. It's one of them really wobbly poses, isn't it? Lovely. And then release that arm down. As you release that arm down, just coming onto the ball of your right foot, step it back into your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale forward into our plank pose. Exhale. Upward facing dog or cobra. Extra little breath here. Exhaling downward facing dog. Lovely. So we're going to inhale, float all over your right leg up. Put that right knee into chest, we'll step that right foot in, heel swivels down, warrior one. Good. How are we doing? And then as we inhale, a slight straighten, sweep the arms around. Again, either interlace fingers, reverse namaste. Okay. Press the palms of the hands together. Little bend into the right knee. Gently fold right down the middle. Okay. Square on that pelvis. Extend and lengthen. And again, if you need to, just keep the bend in the knee, smooth the right side down that right thigh. Lovely. And then we'll rebend that knee, bring ourselves back up into our warrior one. And then come to centre. So again, we'll square off. Little soft bend into the knee. We're going to turn around as much as we can. Right hand onto right waist. Sliding that left arm down. Okay. So again, block the inside or outside. Rounding and turning as much as you can. So lifting, okay, into that right side by drawing the left side through, opening into the abdomen and rib cage. dog. Throw the left side through just another little bit, relax this right shoulder. Brilliant. And then down you come. Rebend that knee, all of your lefts. Step it back, downward facing dog. Get the legs a little shake out. Yeah. Settle back into downward facing dog just for 3 breaths. And then we'll come onto our tabletop. Soften onto the tops of our feet, draw our sit bones back. Lovely. And just swing our arms around our body gently into a complete child's pose, relaxing it. Lovely. Slide the arms forward. Resting up onto tabletop, crossing out the legs. Over we go. Taking our seat on the middle of the mat, gently roll it down. Bring the feet hips width. The knees a little shake out from side to side. Lovely. So feet hips width. And you can try and gauge the distance between the heel and your sit bone. Okay, so about 2 inches of space. If you can't kind of gauge it without looking, have a little look. Smooth the lower back into the mat, press the hands firmly into the mat. And as we inhale, we'll roll up into our bridge pose. Good. Once we roll up into our bridge pose, imagine that you're drawing those hip bones up higher to the sky. Okay. Sending forward into the knees, grounding into all 4 corners of the feet. Okay. And then we'll slide the hands in behind the back, interlace the fingers. As we extend and lengthen, and we're going to roll onto the side edge of each shoulder and draw that chest wall right up into that chin. Good. And keep grounding into the feet as you lift those hips up. Just breathe into that space. Good. And then we'll gently roll it all the way back down. Smooth the back into the mat, lift the knees into the chest wall. Take the knees out wide. And the back into centre, draw them in again. Feet on the mat, right leg goes away. Left toes kind of sneaking behind that right leg. Smooth out your left arm, catch hold of your left thigh. And sweep out to your right side. So again, release back into the left shoulder blade, left arm. And gently turn your head to the left. So when you have the weight of the hand onto that left thigh, okay, don't be trying to pull it over, okay. If you feel like you want to add a bit of weight into it, that's fine. You just gently draw down a little bit. And a little bit. Beautiful. And then we'll come back to centre. Square off that spine, tuck the knees in. Left leg sneaks away. Right toes tuck in, left hand comes to right thigh. We'll roll it over. Smooth into that right shoulder bit. So again, just be gentle with this. Quite, kind of nervy process in your lower back if you've got any kind of disc problems or you've anything going on in the hips. So just feel your way into it, breathe your way into it. ourselves back to centre again. Lovely, smooth the back into that one last little tuck of the knees in. So good squeeze in. And then releasing the arms. We'll do our little self lower back massage. And around, around, around. And then the other way. And then once we pop the 2 feet to the floor, okay, just walk the feet out ever so slightly. Let the knees roll in towards one another. Smooth out that lower back, soft shoulders. And then just placing the hands onto the abdomen. Close the eyes. Okay. So when we bring our awareness to the breath, okay, physiologically it's what balances out our body. Brings in that lovely oxygen, takes away all the byproducts of your metabolism, delicately balancing the lifeline of each cell. But it's one thing that we can anchor to in our day, okay? Or maybe our mind is all over the place. Things don't seem that we have any kind of control over. It's the one thing that we can relate to. It's our breath. There from the moment we're born to the moment we die. And it reflects quite clearly how we're feeling physically, mentally and emotionally. And we breathe up to about 22,000 times a day, and there's very few of those breaths that we're actually fully aware of. So just taking a little bit of time out in your day just to send some love, care and attention into your breath. So just as the breath enters the nose, down the back of the throat. Feel that lovely lift, rise, expansion up into the heels, palms and fingertips of your hand. A little pulse point at the top of the breath, and as you exhale, choosing maybe a word or a sentence that resonates. I let go, I relax, I enjoy my space. So bringing in a multitude of goodness, and as you exhale, just letting go of anything that does not serve you. Anxiety or tension. Energy is constantly changing in the universe. So when you let go of something that doesn't serve you, it doesn't mean that that's bad feeling going out. It means you just simply let go. Lovely. So just gently releasing the hands off the tummy, give the hands a little shake. Lovely. And then take them above the chest wall, interlace the fingers, stretch the heels, the hands up to the ceiling. And then as you release the hands, just scald the knees into the tummy, give yourself a nice little squeeze. And then whenever you're ready, just gently roll it up. Lovely. Well done, everybody. Namaste.